been an interesting week.
To say the least.
So, done a lot of food shows, and helping people to feel better. Trying to get everybody to say the words magnesium so that they can help themselves. And trying to tell them that
Let's do it together. Ready? Magnesium.
if they stay together with a program of being alkalinized, let's say it together.
Alkalinized.
I remember those two girls, the ones that speak very softly on Saturday Night Live, and
Oh yeah.
the sisters that used to, they were imitating.
Yeah, well, we're the opposite. We're the two old farts in the theater at Sesame Street.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, yeah, Sesame Street. Right?
Yes, Sesame Street. But those two girls used to do a skit making fun of them because they were so, what's the word?
Pleasant.
Huh?
Pleasant.
Pleasant and boring, and they would go on and on
Bland.
about little things that they were.
Yes, you remember the cookies that we used to make? Oh yes, the cookies.
Those cookies. And they'd
Those cookies.
pause for a long time.
And then they would, I can't say it, but remember?
That
Because they did it with the guy. What's his name?
Who?
The guy that just shot somebody in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
They did
Will
it with,
Ferrell.
No, the actor
Oh, the other guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Baldwin guy.
Baldwin. They did
I'm sorry, Will.
Yeah, at Baldwin, and they were talking about his. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the week we've had. Amazing. So many things, so many people have shown up from the blast from the past, and so many new customers, and
Made
it's
lots of new friends.
it becomes a show here. If you stay for a little while, you get people from those videos come in and tell you and give their advice, and everybody's having a meeting. There'll be 3-4 groups of couples that'll come in, or people with their kids, and they'll start saying how their kids are doing wonderful, how they had ADD and they don't. This other lady came.
Hey guys, how we doing today?
Gary, come in. Why don't you sit down with us, Gary, over here? Sit down. You see what I was just...
Two.
Fantastic,
Serendipity.
Gary, sit down, buddy. Sit down. We just started the program here. We just started the program, and we wanna talk about only what you want to talk about. And he brought us a book. Ruben, why don't you tell us about that book? The show just started, and we're saying what a wonderful week. We didn't have anything in mind. We were just talking about magnesium and stuff. Yesterday, Gary and I hung out, and we talked about how to improve his gout to the next level. But what's that all about?
This is a book about Van Gogh and some of his most important pieces, and then it's got little essays next to it describing what was probably going through the mind of Van Gogh and why the lighting is a certain way. I'm actually a student of art, and so he's one of my favorite painters.
Yeah, one of the reason why I brought this up is me and my daughter went to New York last summer, and we went to the Met, and they had more Van Goghs. They had like 25 Van Goghs.
But were they permanent, or was it a Van Gogh
Well,
exhibition?
the one, the most famous one, the self-portrait,
Right.
it was on loan.
Yeah, it's traveling.
But most of them, I think, were permanent, which is amazing because normally you go into a museum, you'll see 2 or 3 Van Goghs,
right.
but they had like 25. And they only had, I was really disappointed they only had a couple of Renoirs. Can't remember the Picassos, but they was really low, but the Monet was like absolutely just jumped out at you. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, the Met's, it's not the Louvre, but it's close. Right?
I think it's better than the Louvre because it's in the U.S.
Well,
I do this to the French.
now, if my opinion, the best is the Sistine Chapel in Rome. It's very difficult. It's more difficult to navigate through because they've kept the old museum like it always was. And you have to go down those steep steps and up and around, and it's pretty entertaining.
Well, all of Rome is like that. I mean, if you want to really take, for example, a tour of amazing art, you would have to start at the oh God, why is my I can't think of it. It's the where the Pope is. The why can't I think of it?
The Vatican.
The Vatican. Yes,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay, yeah.
But you got to wait. But you'd start at the Vatican. But you would start in the Vatican. You would start in the catacombs.
Mm-hmm.
So you start where all the Swiss Army people are there, and then they take you down into the
Yeah,
caves.
but I've never got to do that.
Oh gosh, you have to write to the Vatican and request ahead of time, and then they do like a little background check, and then they allow it, and then you make a donation, and then they give you a tour. But you start in the catacombs, and you actually get to go, and the very first thing you get to see is the tomb of Saint Peter, the first pope, and his tomb is there. You don't get to go real close, and you have to look through a little crack in the wall where you can actually look at it because you can't go up to it. And then as you go up, then you get to see all the tombs of all the other popes, and they're all entombed in marble caskets, which is. And then the top of the caskets have all the carvings of their actual bodies on top of the casket. It's really, and then of course you get up into the Vatican and then all that artwork. But it's the same thing that you were saying. You got to go up all these little steps, and you got to go up this little crevice. It's all this old stuff. They've modernized some of it, but a lot of it is still old, which is kind of cool because it takes you all the way back.
And the neat thing about the Vatican is I've been into a lot of places, but I've never seen the amount of gold in my life. It's just almost painted in gold. It's like it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, of course, it's all inlaid gold, but still, it's a lot of gold.
Well,
Some of the stuff is solid gold.
Yeah, I'm out of dress today. I don't have on my sandals. I wear my sandals all the time. After probably 5-6 years ago, I was in Barcelona actually, and I already had the gout probably 5 or 6 years before that. But I had a case of the plantar fasciitis, and plus I ate some really good food there in Barcelona, and so my gout flared up on me. And luckily, I was wearing tennis shoes, but luckily I had my pair of sandals with me, and from that day on, 99% of the time I'll wear my sandals. It's cold outside today, but my feet, that's funny, my feet never get cold. But I put my tennis shoes on this morning, and typically my feet would start hurting. But after I started taking the smoothie, it wasn't just like immediately it all went away.
No, you barely even notice it, but it's actually after a couple of days, you're like, you know what? I don't think I've had pain for the last couple of days. It's kind of weird.
And now I'm eating, which for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, I didn't eat any fish. And my favorite
now
food.
You can go back to Barcelona because they're right there in the Mediterranean, so there's so much shrimp and fish.
But let them say that these things that are, what do they call, crustaceans? They cause that. They go ahead and you say it. What is the group of foods that mostly flares it up?
Oh, shell food, seafood. Yeah, anything that's got shells, shrimp, clams, oysters, lobster, any of that stuff. And so what I was going to say is my favorite dish of all is clams, fresh clams, in
white sauce.
No, in red sauce with spaghetti. And I used to eat that all the time. And my brother would go to a restaurant out in California, and they had those fresh steamer clams, and they'd be, cooked in there with, you got clam sauce in there with it. And then, I just had to give it all up. But now I'm back to where I can eat basically anything I want. I tell you the thing that really triggered mine. I ate 3 Whataburger hamburgers one time in a 3-day period of time.
Oh, okay, over 3 days.
And I love them. And the sodium, the the seasoning that they put on their
Yeah.
burgers. I don't know what it has in it, but lots of salt, but probably other things too. But man, I was going antelope hunting up in New Mexico, and me and my son, the last stop was in Amarillo. I think it was Amarillo, and we stopped and got a Whataburger hamburger, and that was my third one in a third day. And we just stopped in there to get, because it's fast, it's easy, they're great. I love to eat them. And by the time I got to Clayton, New Mexico, which is like 3 hours later, I couldn't get out of the car.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just.
Well, let me tell you what happened down that road. First of all, you know it, and I know it. It's just, it isn't popular speech. As for instance, I love to let you talk, and I like to let you think, because you'll come up with things that are in your mind that happened that day and the place, and I like to let you flow once you get going, and I don't like to stop you, because like you and me and everybody else, we lose our frame of thought, and that one thing that you were gonna say that was so that was gonna flow doesn't. But you woke up in the morning every single day acidic, and we saw this yesterday. Okay, the flare-up was just the straw that was breaking the camel's back. Okay, now that said, well, you know this for a long time. You were drinking the smoothie, taking some straws off the camel for a while, and now we're taking some other stuff to always stay alkaline. Okay, alkalinized. Now that said, yes. The burgers put you over the top for those 3 days. One time I ate menudo the whole week, every single day. Okay, and I was about 20 something years old, and I had to sit down because I was running around like a crazy man. In those days we had a different kind of business without this Walmart and HEB and all these other places. So we were always like flour, beans, everybody was taking to make tortillas and things like this. Now, that said, I had to sit down and my head was throbbing and all that, and I recognized that I had eaten menudo the whole week, and I was being acidic at the same time. I would drink 4 or 5, 6 Cokes a day and things like this. I'd wake up in the morning with extra coffee and things like this. But one of the things that you said was very interesting is what Ruben can tell us about, that a lot of companies are putting in food enhancers. Okay. And these things have people have pointed it out that they're not the best for you. Especially, you can eat them now, no problem. Like you can go have that burger, and if you stay alkalinized, then you go and get that burger, the same burger, and nothing's gonna happen. You drink a green smoothie, and then you have the burger. We know these things. We were talking about it yesterday, but there's something very popular that most people don't know that is getting put inside their food at many of the restaurants here in McAllen, for instance. It's called Ajinomoto. Now, Ruben, Ajinomoto.
So it's MSG, monosodium glutamate, and so it's a food enhancer, but
It's like MSG.
it is MSG.
Oh, okay, MSG. I know about it. Yeah.
And so
The Chinese restaurants used to be the only people that used it.
Yes. Yeah. Now they use it everywhere.
Yeah.
And so and it's not innately bad. It's just that it's not natural, and it's not one of those sodiums that are good for you.
Well,
So
it is. It's processed, but
Yeah.
this is it, and we sell it. Come and get it at Ruben's. It tastes fantastic. But drink your smoothie and your hibiscus.
Yes. Can you bring me the good sodium? Or the pink one?
No, what I was going to say is
Yes.
that also what most people don't know, you probably do, but 90% of the restaurants that you go to, they actually don't prepare the food on premise. It comes in like a TV dinner, so not maybe in the same foil little deal with little cutout deals.
I'm not going to mention any names, but all the chain restaurants are
All
like
the
that.
oh yeah, like
That's the only way they can get the same food everywhere. So
That's right.
That's why if you go to one here and you go to one in Austin, it's exactly the same, because they're like frozen TV dinners.
did
You're
you
right.
know this?